My name's Jay Jordan. My partner and I, Robin, have a company called Piper Jordan. We market primarily limited medical benefits to Fortune 500 companies, part-time non-benefit eligible populations. We also do some worksite benefits like critical illness and cancer and accident policies and things of that nature. So that's primarily what we do. I didn't know a whole lot about medical tourism prior to this conference, but we work with the directors of benefits, and they're asking us questions about their full-time populations as well and their self-insured plans and everything else. We used to do that back in a prior life 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but primarily focused on the limited side for the past 9 years. But we also consult on whatever they want to ask us, and that's how this might come into play. All these companies are self-insured. They're all large. They've all got, they're all trying to figure out, how to, maximize, the value of their plan, and they're paying for it. So I, before had not thought of sending an employee or giving an option to an employee overseas for a procedure that, they're either not going to have an equal percentage paid for in the U.S. or they're not going to have paid at all, just because of probably the quality of care, which I thought would probably be the issue, or would be the issue with the clients. I mean, they're really going to want to know, that's fine in theory, but is the quality of care there? Can they really, can I really impress upon my employee that this might make sense? And after coming here and seeing the hospitals and walking through them and seeing that in terms of the technology they've got, talking to the doctors, and just the facilities themselves, they're equal to, if you close your eyes, you'd think you're in the U.S. So.
Well, now that you've visited the hospitals, I mean, how do you think they compare?
I think they to the nicer hospitals that I've been affiliated with, they're the same. I mean, they're nicer than a lot of the hospitals in the U.S. If you go to the veterans hospitals and the VAs and things of that nature, the clinics that we've had to visit from time to time for various things, and in San Diego at least. But if you compare it to a Scripps in San Diego or a Mayo down in Jacksonville, where my father's spending a lot of time lately, it's the same. I've already said to several of them, hey, we're going to go down and see what this is all about, and I was surprised because they already were familiar with it, about the concept, and said, hey, I'd be interested in knowing what you thought of the facilities, is it legitimate, et cetera, et cetera. So we've already, kind of marching orders to come back and report, what we've seen. And I would recommend that, if they go after and select the better hospitals, around the world that are the better fits, it does make sense. I mean, when you talk about, that hospital we visited yesterday, and you go through the morbidity rates, and you go through the success rates, unlike that liver transplant, the other one with the spine. I mean, the facts kind of speak for themselves. I don't think you're going to get too many doctors in the U.S. refuting, even disagreeing to say, hey, yeah, those are good facilities, and if you can, get the care you need, from a less expensive, affordable standpoint, where you aren't going to get it here just because of the percentages of what the plan pay, and you can create a win-win for the client who's funding the plan, the employee who's receiving the care, it works. I was surprised at how transparent it is, and like the U.S. I was surprised the hospitals were, that enough people spoke English, the doctors spoke English. You felt comfortable. I was trying to picture, hey, if I was here and had something, would I really want to be sitting in that hospital bed over in the corner with these people, around? Is it too weird of a situation? Would I not feel comfortable? And I would, I would. I mean, it was, I mean, the world, I guess, has gotten a lot closer, and it's, we're 13 hours away from home by airplane, so it's a little strange that it's so far away, but it's, and it's not even a nationality, or a, it's not a country, like the UK or something that's closer. It's even a, more foreign concept, I suspect, to a typical American, and it still feels comfortable. So I didn't know there'd be this many people here, this many interested people here, and this well, put together. I mean, everything's well done. It's like first class, professional. It's great. I mean, the conference itself's great. The whole thing, from getting on the airplane and flying here and getting off and getting to the hotel, and it's been great. So I'm pleasantly surprised. But and it's super professional. I mean, everything's been right on, and I thought it was going to be a lot smaller. I didn't know that this many people were interested in this. And there's, conferences, from what I've been told now, every few months. So there's many of them. So, it seems that while they may have had, medical tourism's been going on for a while, I mean, at the speed in which it's growing is fairly, now, is come about fairly quickly. So now you have several organizations kind of vying for how can we, put this together, educate everybody, and become one kind of thing. So, and they've been great. I mean, that was what kind of, prepped us, got us involved. We had I didn't have any idea of what this is all about before I got educated with them, and then which brought me here. I'll tell you one thing that would make a lot of sense would, and now thinking about it, because you had the conference last year in LA, and we came in for the limited benefit piece, and I knew that you had on the tail end the medical tourism piece. I'm surprised that a lot more U.S. brokers aren't more involved in this, that represent all these companies in the U.S. And I would put a big push on for them to attend and treat it more as a, hey, the train's kind of leaving the station. You can either get on or not get on, but it's going to be leaving either way. So I'm surprised, more aren't here, although, again, we're in South Korea. But in the U.S., I would promote more attendance for the U.S. people representing these companies, because they're really the facilitators at the end of the day, because without that facilitation, you don't get to the next step, which is let's put something in place.